Hi everyone, I'm Catherine Batak and my partner is Joey Yao. Our court case is Mapp v. Ohio, 1961. Let's get into our background. On May 23, 1957, the Cleveland police suspected a man involved in a bombing was hiding in the home of Dollree Mapp. 3 police cars showed up to her home, but she refused to let them in without a warrant. 2 of the 3 cars left, while one stayed to look over the house. 3 hours later, several cars returned and forcefully entered her home. Dollree once again asked for a warrant, and the police waved a paper that wasn't really a search warrant in her face. She attempted to grab the paper, but the police handcuffed her for being belligerent and continued to search her home. During this search, the police found betting slips for illegal gambling and pornography, which were illegal to have under Ohio's obscenity law at the time. Mapp was sentenced to 7 years in prison for her crimes, but during her 4th year, she was given a retrial where her case was taken to the Supreme Court. Our first check for understanding question is, what was Mapp charged with?
Now let's hear each side's argument. Mapp's argument was that Ohio should not be allowed to convict her with the evidence they found during the search because of her Fourth Amendment right to privacy. The police needed a valid warrant to enter her home, which they didn't. She also used the First Amendment to defend herself because she felt that her rights had been violated by the police, since the police did not listen to her when she refused to let them in. Ohio's argument Ohio's argument was that the Fourth Amendment did not require the state of Ohio to exclude the evidence and that the Tenth Amendment reserved them the right to a separate court system. Ohio claimed that their court was not restricted by the exclusionary rule since the rule only applied to federal courts and not state courts. The exclusionary rule prohibits the use of illegally obtained evidence in a criminal trial. Our second check for understanding question is, what 2 amendments were used for Mapp's argument?
Now let's go over the ruling. Our Chief Justice for this case is Earl Warren, and the Supreme Court had a vote count of 63 and ruled in favor of Mapp on the grounds that her right to privacy was infringed upon when the police searched her home without a warrant. The Supreme Court ruled that all evidence found in a search could not be used in court. Rather than focusing on the First Amendment, the Supreme Court connected the due process law of the 14th Amendment, which states you cannot be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, and used the Fourth Amendment to protect citizens' right to privacy. Her conviction was later overturned. Our third check for understanding question is, can evidence obtained in a non-consensual search be used in court?
Finally, the significance of this case. This case overruled the decision of Wolf v. Colorado, which decided that state courts could use illegally obtained evidence in court. Now, after this case, state courts had to obey the exclusionary rule, which again prohibits the state and federal government from using evidence gathered in violation to the U.S. Constitution. This case also made the Fourth Amendment stronger because it protected citizens with the right against unreasonable searches and seizures. Our final check for understanding question is, what was the exclusionary rule and how did it strengthen the Fourth Amendment's protection of privacy? Thanks for listening to our court case. Let's play bingo!